I'm sure you've heard or are at least aware that New Hampshire and much of Maine is in a pretty significant drought. There's a rating system that goes D0 through D4, and 100% of the state of New Hampshire is currently in a D1, and 70% has just recently reached a D2. For the most part, all this means is water restrictions on the state, so grass gets kind of prickly and brown, and there is some concerns that certain town wells might start to dry up. But although these concerns sound immediately dangerous, most of them are precautionary actions that they're taking currently, and this drought isn't actually even as bad as the drought that came from 2016 to 2017, where 20% of the state was in a D3, which is a very, much more significant drought situation. And currently all the actions taking place, why everything looks so brown and kind of gross, is because they're trying to prevent a D3 situation. But overall, in my opinion, when it comes to water situations, we have something a little bit more concerning than even a drought in our water supply. Signs like these all across the Souhegan River warning you of PCBs in the water supply. Now, I've done a video on how they got there in the first place, but PCBs, which stands for, if you want to take a shot at that, is a chemical that was discovered in the 20s and used until its ban in 1979. And it was used in things like microscope oils, various conductors, and they would even spray it on dirt roads to keep them from being too dusty. That was before we discovered that they had negative effects. Unfortunately, during that time period, we had already released 1.5 billion tons of it into the environment, and finding out that it causes developmental issues, problems with pregnancies, and issues with your liver, so that's why we have these signs. But there's even more to our water supply than meets the eye. This is where the Souhegan River meets the Merrimack River, and there's an access point that a lot of people swim at here at Watson's Park. However, Watson's Park has recently been closed down until a fence can be built to separate people from being able to get into the water. Why? Because there's high levels of E. coli. And where does E. coli come from? It's basically shit in the water. There is sewage runoff that, because this is the end of the line, all sort of collects at the end, so it's not safe to swim in because you'll get swimmer's ear or swimmer's eye, which is a gnarly little infection. So they've closed it off until they can build a fence. It's very unfortunate, but we're really losing our ability to swim in these urbanized areas because the water is not good.